first step really is identifying what the weight is, right? Because just because you're pregnant or you're a mother, there are other roles that we play. We're not just a mother, right? I work, I'm a daughter, I'm a lot of things. I'm a wife, I'm all of these things, I'm a friend. And so identifying what the weight is, and then being able to say, okay, how can I delegate? Because if you're on maternity leave, great, you don't have to work. But you still have to do all these other things, right? You still have to be a daughter-in-law, you still have to be a wife, you still have to be a friend. And so it's about identifying what it is and then delegating. And so I think that is really what is key, because it's like, yes, you can come over and it will really help to do the laundry, it will really help to wash dishes and clean my house, but that is short term. You're not gonna live with me, unless you are, then I'll take that up. But if you're not, then we have to think of long-term ways to not just alleviate the weight, but take it off, literally. And sometimes that looks like family, if they will live with you, or they will come over periodically and help you.
When you're identifying the weight, it is very easy to see and identify what I can see, right? I can touch that chair. I know I need help with that chair. I can touch this podium. I know I need help with somebody to move this. What about the things we can't see, right? As a new mom, I'm a new mom. I went to the hospital, had a baby, and they said, take that home. There wasn't a book. There were no instructions. Granted, there's a lot of stuff online, sure, but you get what I'm saying, right? It is an entire new world that you're walking into. There are new feelings that you are going to feel, right? There are feelings that you're not going to want to feel, but you're going to feel it, right? I love that baby, but that baby loud, okay? I love that baby, but I'm sleepy and you up, and it's okay. So being able to identify the new feelings, understanding that those feelings are okay, but also understanding and or finding the safe spaces, the resources, the community, the people that you can talk to that can help you, that can hold your hand, that can walk you through it, that can hold you accountable as well.
My in-laws came down, and I remember the very first day that they came down, I always tell this story. My husband called, and he was like, my mom says you haven't been out of the room in like 8 hours and she's hungry. I said, what does that mean? He said, she needs you to cook. I said, I don't know where you got that from. I'm the one who needs to be cared for today, right? And so sometimes we have to advocate for ourselves in that space, even with family and friends. So my charge to you, if you have a friend, a sister, a cousin, someone who is expecting, please, that text message means more than you know. Reach out.
Dealing with the weight of things happened when I got back home to reality of being a wife, a mother, going to work. For some strange reason, in all of my pregnancies, I decided I wanted to be a full-time student. And dealing with that and making that balance happen. One of the biggest things that we have to realize is that we don't have to have that S on our chest. It's okay for us to ask for help. And sometimes that help looks like what she said. I'm a big proponent for, can somebody do the laundry because I get somebody else to do it.
But just in conversations with my wife, this has obviously come up. And one of the things is, if you wanted to help, I shouldn't have to ask. And that's just not true. Sometimes, I may not know how. Do I do this? Do I do this? And so, kind of getting over any mental barriers that suggest that people, if they wanted to help, then you wouldn't have to ask, and that's not always true. And so really advocating for that help. But then also too, what I've seen is, this fear of maybe being perceived differently. Like, am I still this if I ask for that? And yes, you still are a great mother if you say, hey, I'm tired and I don't feel like being around the kids today. And so just being able to manage these different emotions that oftentimes come.
So I found help in probably the most unlikely place. I found support in my children. Really being very transparent with them, sharing my struggles, sharing my successes, because I really wanted them to understand the thought process, because there is going to be a day and time when mom is not here. But if I've given you a thought process, you will know how to navigate spaces and places. I have one of my daughters over here. She's eating. But just being very blessed. And so the beautiful thing that has come out of that is that one, they've become my biggest cheerleaders. They cheer me on to victory. They understand the how and the why. But they've also become my biggest accountability partners.
Go. And I think that a lot of the clients that I work with, and myself as well, if I ask for help and I give you a task, let's say a household task or something with the kids, I have an idea in my mind how I want it done, specifically the T, right? And if I'll give it to my husband in the room, he's here somewhere. If I give it to my husband, he's gonna do it the way that he wants. The result will probably still be the same, a little bit, a little different. But I have to let that go. It has to go ABC 1, 2, 3. He's gonna go 3, 5, 7, and then we're gonna still end up at 3. But and so I think that's the struggle, is like, if I'm giving somebody a task, I have to also let them do it the way that they see fit. And so I think that's hard for a lot of moms, because we're very particular about our kids. We love our kids. We are like, no, like nothing can go wrong. And just because something is different doesn't mean it's wrong.